Good morning, Ellie, and welcome to the first ever edition of Tribe Talks. Tribe Talks is a 15-minute quick fire with Australia's best retailers, gurus, experts in their field, and I couldn't think of anyone else I would rather have as number one. So I'm going to ask you some quick fire questions. Before I do, I want to introduce Ellie Degraeve. She is the founder and CEO of Go for Zero, an amazing platform. If you haven't looked at it, go look at it now. She lives and breathes her brand and has had phenomenal growth and success over the last few years. Ellie, thank you for joining us. Give us a quick background.
Why I founded Go for Zero?
Yeah.
Okay, very briefly. I worked in international retail strategy, loved my job, worked in Europe, worked in America. Then I had a baby. My baby turned out to react really badly to any products that I would put on her. And I started just to research. And from there, I fell into this hole of, hang on, what is in our products? How are these ingredients allowed in our products? To what is the company saying? How are they greenwashing? What are they doing with their products? And then when I moved to Australia, which is 6 years ago, I really wanted to follow my passion. I set up a pop-up store just to see what are the main questions that people have about chemical-free products, but also eco-friendly products. Mm-hmm. And that little pop-up store did so well. So I went back, set up my online store, had no idea about e-commerce, but gave it a crack. And I just wanted a company that really aligns with all the values that I have and be the most transparent and honest one out there.
Honestly, I think when I look at your social and then I get to speak to you, which isn't often enough, I should say, your values alignments with your brand is probably the strongest I've ever seen. What are some of the strategies? One of the things I do notice about Go for Zero is you're amazing at creating exceptional customer experience online and offline. What are some of the tactics you can share that you believe are absolutely fundamental to a great online customer experience?
Yeah, I would say definitely to start is to be honest, be super transparent. If customers ask me questions and I'm not 100% sure, I'm not just going to say like, oh, research this, research that. I make it my mission to really find out what exactly it is that they need and how maybe as a company we need to be more clear, need to do better. So I would say transparency is for us really important when we think about our customers, and education. I think and I can see with our customers, our products are so different out there. Like we cut waste at its source, right? Our products are meant to have no or the lowest footprint out there as possible. So educate on how do you use this. Seriously, shampoo that comes from powder, when you put water in it, it foams up and washes your hair. Like that is very difficult to understand. Yeah. So I have to really talk a lot about the products, show how the products work. And I think the education when customers, when we think about our customers, my main thing is really like, how can I make sure that when I have a product, they understand it, they really can trust me, that we've done all the research behind, that the ingredients are done, but also when it arrives at them, that they know how to use it.
Yeah, love that. And there are so many, just your shampoo one, there are so many moments when I think about you. This is going to sound really weird, but when I'm in my bathroom and I see a plastic bottle, I go, oh, that's just disappointing, Kelly, really disappointing.
It is very hard. I think it's very hard. The customers can't be also too hard on themselves because it's not convenient yet. It's not out there yet. So the education is not just about the products. It's also about the recycling. We've set up a whole recycling program on how can we help customers to, when they don't know how to dispose it, make sure that we can help them. And if there's nothing out there, they can send it to us and we'll send it to specialists.
I love that. I love
that. It's really closing that loop for the customer. When they come to us, they can have not even thought about waste, or they can be the diehard zero waste out there. They should be able to find things with us and learn from us.
So essentially what you have done is you've taken their pain and friction points, not just in the purchase process, which is I need something for this, but you've actually taken their pain and friction points outside of that pure purchase process and gone, how can we deal with these as well, which is in alignment with our brand?
Yes, 100%.
Amazing. So just on the customer service piece and the getting feedback, there are so many channels. There are so many. I'm guessing you get pinged by customers, but I'm sure you'll get text messages, Instagram, LinkedIn. How
Yeah.
do you manage all that?
We're on every single platform, and every day we make sure that we manage it, go through it twice a day. We look through it, and we use it actually a lot to gain insights in our company as well as in products. So when I'm looking at a new product, I put it out there on all these platforms and I ask people to vote on it. Would they purchase this? Would they be interested? What are their questions? So then whenever I launch a product, and I know already if it's going to be interested in or not, but also I know what are their frequent asked questions? Like, how can I take that friction away? Like I use any socials to just gain understanding of what my customer wants and what their main questions are.
And do you use any tools or platforms to collate that information or to have a single source of truth, or do you just?
We have our Meta. Meta is our main one because you can have a few in there, and Shopify backend also.
Yeah.
So these we use, yeah.
Awesome. What are some of the biggest challenges you see facing retail and e-commerce today?
I would say one of the main ones, I think, is cutting through all the noise out there. There's so many e-commerce stores popping up every single day.
Yeah.
And for me, it's this combined with, and I don't think it's just specific to my industry, but greenwashing is just so big now. And I think it's a real challenge for companies because we all know it's coming. All the regulations are coming, and we have to do better for the planet. We have to have our sustainability plans in place. But it's about, I think it's going to be a real challenge to not greenwash. People really have to learn how not to greenwash. There's a great book out there, The Great Greenwashing, it's called. And it's very clear on how you can do it, because you will be called out. And I think it's a real challenge because we all know Gen Z is really educated, which I love. That's amazing. We get the most amazing questions from that generation. And I think that's how it should be. That's how retail should be. It should be really honest and transparent. But I think that's going to be a challenge too, because of everything that's coming, and more because of the noise. There's so many videos now, so many reels. Like it's hard to still stand out and be different. So I personally find it's really going back to your call. Why did I start this? What is the pain point of my customer? Because if I stick to that and don't get too distracted by what are your competitors doing, I think that's where you'll do well, because you speak to the customer where you have the products for.
Yeah. Actually, we had Sam from Venroy on e-commerce tribe yesterday, and she gave a talk about customer content creation, and she was saying exactly what you're saying. She said you've got to go back to your pillars.
Yeah.
And a lot of brands don't even have pillars. Like, what are the things that actually you're really passionate about as a brand, as an organization, as a founder, whether it's you on your own or a group of people? And how do you make sure that every single piece of content you're putting out aligns with that?
And that comes to planning, right?
Yeah.
I think that comes to having, you can't be too, obviously it's like a business plan, you can't be really too stuck in your planning. But if you have planning throughout the year, that you know that you tick off these pillars frequently enough, you know actually that you will be sticking to your core. And things change, obviously things change in the world, and that's fine. But by having a clear list of, okay, that's what I want to have throughout this year, that's my main things I want to be known for, and I'm going to plan it in so many oftentimes a month on all your different channels, then you can just fill other things in with things that are happening in the world or where you think that you can add more value. But the planning is just really important, and it's something I am doing it right now for the year, which I'm a bit late with. And it asks so much brain power. It takes me a long time.
It's exhausting. You almost need to go and sit in a forest with no connectivity and just look. That's a really important point, because it's one of the questions I get asked a lot. How do you actually, like, take me through, if you went after this session, you're going to spend an hour, or probably it's going to take at least a few days. In a forest planning. What's your process for that, and what tools, platforms do you use to be able to do that?
Yeah, so I would say because I'm just thinking what I've done so far. So I do go through a pillars. I make sure that, okay, there's certain things that I want to have throughout the year. So I have them written down. Then I go through the marketing days. So there's so many marketing calendars out there now, but the things that are relevant to my customers, there's like picking your nose there. That could be a funny one to jump on, but I know it's not one that I have to send an EDM out of, like I can jump on that and have my kid doing it.
I love it.
Get traction that day. So things that are really relevant again to your customer and why they want to follow you. And from there, then we look, because we're a marketplace, right? We host a lot of amazing Aussie and New Zealand brands. So then from my perspective and my business, I look at what are any promotions that we can run that are really aligned with certain months, like you've got Earth Month and so on. So I put down my ideal scenario of that month. And then I go back to my suppliers, and then I just check with them, and we're like, that's our vision, that's our mission of the year. These are the things that we will do for you, because also we make brands very visible by doing what we do. So there's definitely a win-win there. And I only win if they win. So I really care so much about my suppliers. I really love them. And I think I would not want a promotion from a supplier if that means I'm squeezing them and they're, like it needs to be a mutual benefit.
So how do you take that big vision thinking of, I've mapped out, and we do this in the e-commerce tribe, it's exactly the same thing. I have a retail calendar with all of the key dates in there, and then I get them to fill in their customer dates that are relevant to their customers. And then we start to think about content streams against their pillars. How do you go from kind of that plan to something that goes on Tuesday at 9 a.m, we're going to post this video?
So once we've got the plan ready, that's just for me in an Excel. I don't know, there must be amazing tools out there, I'm sure.
You know what? Honestly, I've got $60 million brands still using Excel because obviously no one fixed this problem.
Oh, no, anyone up here who is looking for a good business? So I think, Excel is just easy also because you can have a live document going. And from there, then we just break it down every month, every week. And then we write the briefs for the content, which is my graphic designer, then who's looking into it. Then we have the marketing. We start to plan things that are relevant for that week. And we go from there. I think I worked in a startup, and after that I worked in a huge company, like a listed company. And I remember going from that startup to that company and thinking like, now I'll see how everything's done. Like it's going to be perfect, all the processes. I was so keen to learn. And it was so messy. So I have to remind sometimes myself, it's fine. Sometimes it is okay that you're way behind on your DM or that you have to change something last minute. Like it's okay. It's just business. I'm not going to think that it has to be all planned out 3 months and all done and all plugged in. It's not. Mine is not. Maybe it is. I'm sure there's
honestly, I think it's similar across brands. So do you do your content planning to that level of detail a week in advance or a month in advance?
So I'd like to say a month, but it would be a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah, awesome.
I think more because it's very hard to get ahead.
Yeah, look, I love the honesty.
Like we could live in a forest for, like you say, for a full week with the whole team. We could do that, but it's not. We get lots of customer questions. We get people coming in the stores. I think it's more because the nature of the business, it's very hard. We're not isolated, so we have to keep everything going. So I find one of the hardest things is to really get ahead with everything. Yeah. And I'm sure a big frustration for my team. They're like, top, where is the brief? Where is this? So they're lovely. I have an amazing team. So they do understand me and they support me in my vision so incredibly much. So they're very, very patient with me.
What do you think I've got 2 more questions. What do you think of key trends for this year?
Key trends? Yeah. I would say probably what we all know, AI is really big and very important, but I think anything technology-wise is really important. We are looking at augmented reality, so something very different again. I really hope I can pull it off. It's a budget issue more than anything else.
Thanks.
So that's for us, again, looking at customer convenience, really where I wanted to to nail it this year, do much better, because again, it is sometimes hard to see how the products work. It would reduce our emails too that we receive from customers. So I think technology and customer experience is for us, at least this year, absolutely top of mind.
Yeah, yeah. And I always do a little, when we're doing our planning months and people start talking about technology they want to do, I go, is it going to improve the customer experience?
Yeah.
And or improve revenue? Like it's got to
tick the boxes.
If not, get it out. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And look at the data.
Yes.
I think that's one of the things too. I used to think, well, I think Meta changed a lot now too, because I think it changed a lot in the last year. So you've got to look at the data. What is still working on Meta versus last year? Like you can't just copy what you've done in the last years. You've got to stay innovative and keep up with, not trends, but keep up with things that are happening in the world.
Yeah. And you know, the data piece is really interesting because people invest a lot in technology and then don't even, like I've seen people spend $1 million on a new website with no increase in conversions, no increase in traffic. Why did you bother? You know, and it's because they didn't set the journey out going, I want to develop this new website because I want to, no improvement in customer experience, because I want to improve the customer experience. And this is how we're going to measure that. And because I want to increase conversions or revenue. And this is how we're going to measure that.
Exactly.
All right. I have one more question for you. What is your favorite thing to do that is indulgent for you? Not for family, not for friends, not for business, for you.
My favorite thing to do?
Indulgent.
Like not business related?
No, it's for you.
See, I'm like, wait, what? Not business related?
What?
Oh,
you have a favorite thing to do without business? I don't understand.
For me, it's also not family related. Then I would probably say I'm a real health freak. I love everything healthy. I thrive on things like that. I would say a magnesium bar.
Oh, I like that.
I love it. And I got it from my team for my birthday. I got 2. So they know that I love that. So I'm a super extrovert. Like I do not like to be by myself. And that is a thing by yourself. And it really challenges me because I try to stop to think, which is hard. But I'm just thinking about all the, like it's so incredibly beneficial for our body. Like our body needs it. Like 80% is deficient in magnesium. So I know it's an important thing to do. So if I have like nothing on, no one else, I'm just by myself in the world, I'll probably hop in magnesium baths all the time.
Love that. That's awesome. Ellie, thank you so much for joining me on Tribe Talks. I really appreciate your time. I always get so much energy from talking to you, even though we're doing it virtually. I feel the energy coming through the screen. So thank you. And I know this is beneficial for everybody.
Thank you so much, Kelly.
You have the best day.
You too. Bye-bye.